So now we're in the fourth video, walking you through your ultimate marketing checklist and all of those elements. And what we're talking about here is, do you have a plan of how you're going to get your new customers and keep your old ones? So in your marketing strategy, do you have elements built into place that are doing some of the lifting for you? You're busy, you're wearing a lot of hats. You've got payroll, you've got taxes, you've got employee issues, customer service, supplier issues, all of these things, right? You may have a sales team working for you, but you need to really be part of that strategy. How are you finding new customers? What are your strategies doing? This is all part of your marketing. You need to know how you're doing that and how you're also keeping your old customers. But these are some things that I want you to think about this. So let's focus just a little bit in this piece with current customers. If you have current customers, but maybe you offer different types of things to them, you need to be able to have a way to consistently communicate and continue to educate them about maybe new products or services or offerings you have, about availability of those products or services, or maybe how you can do other things for them, right? So a lot of times people come to us, but we can offer them more than the solution that they initially engaged in. And it costs less to be able to resell to old customers. So we need a way to make sure that they are enlightened. People are busy. We assume that everybody knows what we can do for them, and that's not always the case. So I want to talk about, just really quickly, a really great strategy to help you do that and to tie into your sales efforts as well. So we're going to focus in this video a little bit more about what do we do with our current customers to really try to make sure that we keep them as customers, and then also grow and deepen that relationship so we're doing more business for them, we're solving more problems for them, and they're coming back to us again and again. In the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about how we gain those new leads, how to identify where they're at, and what those strategies are. So right here, I want you to be thinking about, are they buying everything that you offer? Or do they need everything you offer? Do they even know that you're offering it? So a great way and the most effective way these days to do this is through email. We want to make sure that we are building a relationship. Everybody, you hear people say a lot, email's dead. You got all this social media stuff, right? But here's a couple quick facts, and there's lots of things that support this, but we're just going to talk about a few quick facts that deal with email. Email is much more intimate. We've actually invited somebody to come into our email. On social media, we just show up and maybe they see what we put out there. And it's important to know people check their email up to 20 times a day, and pretty consistently at least check it once a day. So you know that they're seeing what you're putting in there. It's much, much more likely that they're at least seeing it. And it's important to be seen in somebody's inbox, even if they're not opening it and clicking it, because it's reminding them that you're there. And if they're not unsubscribing from your list, that in and of itself can be a really good indicator that they're just wanting to make sure that they also remember that you're there and you're available, and they may be ready to go seek you out at some point. So there's definitely advantages in that. But then also it's an opportunity to enlighten them about the other things you do. So maybe they came to you for a specific product, but they buy another product or service somewhere else, or they could use it, but they don't know about it. They don't know that you have it. They don't know what problem it solves, and they may have that problem. So this is an opportunity for us to have this ongoing conversation. That takes the relationship from this new kind of intriguing thing, maybe a one-off experience, to actually building a relationship. It builds a relationship with our customers. One in which maybe we are contacting them through the phone or having physical contact with them. Maybe we have a salesperson that's doing that, and that's really, really important. But this works in conjunction with that. It amplifies it, and it really levels that up and accelerates that process for our sales team. So it's super, super critical to make sure that we are leveraging that and thinking about how we can retain. Another thing that I really think is worth thinking about is I want you to think about the fact that on social media, if you're thinking, that's where I'm reaching out, that's where people are seeing me, people only see a fraction of what we put out there in the social media platforms. There's algorithms that are always changing. So it's really important to know that they're only going to see a fraction. Another thing that's important to note that's different between social media platforms or ad campaigns or, those types of things versus our email list is we own our email list. They cannot take that away from us. They can't change how it gets shown. We've been invited to their inbox, and that's our personal relationship. They've given us that invitation. So we really can own that relationship, and it can't ever be taken away from us unless they decide to leave or we decide to disengage. So really, really powerful. Another thing that I want you to think about that's something that you can do in terms of existing customers is you can have an ongoing conversation that's not just one way. So email goes both ways. You can ask people to get back to you. You can ask people to take part in surveys. You can really engage them to get feedback. I just did this on a new product that I'm rolling out just last week. And depending on when you're seeing this is actually already went several times, and it'll probably be some consistent thing in my business that I'm doing. But it's a program helping people build funnels into their business, actually get it done, to really do it right, get it implemented and get started. That's the biggest problem with these things is we know we need to do them, but we don't take the time to actually do them. And the program is making sure that if, they don't want to pay somebody else to go do it, they want to know how to do it, but they want somebody to take them through the process and get them to the end. That's what I'm doing. But I sent a survey out to my list who's highly engaged, asking them to help me out, to help me refine the process, to make it better as I was putting the finishing touches on the next round. And they got back to me, and I learned a lot of incredible stuff about that survey and maybe where I'm going to spend a little bit more time or pull back. Maybe I needed to add some resources in some places where they're saying they're really stuck. And if I hadn't had that conversation, I wouldn't have known that. I couldn't have made that better. So I was offering them something. It's really incredible if you're thinking about offering new services or new products in your business to make sure you're having this dialogue and you're going back and forth. If you are using a system, a funnel system where you can continually email these people and have this conversation, build this relationship, it's incredibly powerful and it can really give you a big step up over the competition that's not doing this on a regular basis. Not only can you resell when you have something to sell because you have a captive audience, but you can actually figure out in advance what they want and how you can offer new offerings or serve them better and go deeper with your existing customers. In the next video, we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about new customers. What are the strategies you use to find them, and how do you bring them into your system, and why it's so important that we make sure that we have the systems set up in our business. Also, how they can support our traditional boots on the ground sales teams as well. So we'll be talking to you again in the next video. So for now, go out there and be thinking about your existing customers and how they could benefit from really being in that ongoing long-term email conversation with you.